I decided to give Wolverine another try. And boy, oh boy, I put up one of my best games in competitive. I'm going crazy, 54 kills. Oh, my first leap got interrupted. But look at the supports. My team is healing me. I made an aggressive move. You love to see it. So now I know I can be real aggressive. Now, I've only played with Wolverine less than an hour. I tried to go into quick match to practice, but what happens in quick match is once I slice and dice a couple of times, they just switch off of a tank. They play with no tanks. Because in quick match, a lot of times people don't really care if they're winning or not. They don't care if they're gonna lose. They're just like, oh, he's on Wolverine. I don't wanna deal with that. I'm gonna switch off. How are you gonna win an objective-based game with no tanks? Who's gonna get to the capture point? Who's gonna take it? You don't have enough health. But they don't care. They'll hop on a bunch of flyers so that you don't use your Wolverine. But I just keep playing with Wolverine because if they don't switch back, they're gonna lose. So I'm fine with that, but I didn't really get to practice. So I was forced to go into a competitive game to practice Wolverine. And you're gonna see I'm making a lot of mistakes. I really am, and I'm getting greedy. When I miss my leap, I should reset, get the cooldowns back, but I'm greedy. When you got great supports like this, they embolden you to go crazy, to take some risk. So I wouldn't be able to do all this if I didn't have supports that were healing, actively healing. They see me being aggressive and they're healing me. They're keeping me going. And all of my teammates in this game were great. They really were. I wish I could have teammates like this every time because they're actually trying to win and they're being aggressive. One of the reasons why you're losing a lot of games, your teammates are not aggressive. They don't go get the objectives. They keep hanging back, playing passive. You got to go take those objectives. You really do. You can't be falling back all the time. Yeah, obviously, you don't want to be going into fights 1v6. Sometimes you got to reset, but you got to go forward and you got to push the other team back, and that's what we're doing. And look, now they pulled out a Wolverine. I see a Wolverine on the other team, baby. And I completely missed that ultimate. I got nothing. That's something I got to practice. You're going to see a lot that I use in this game. Sometimes I lift up the enemy, but then when I slam down, they're nowhere to be found. It's like they got lifted up and then they just disappeared. But look at this. I'm going to take Wanda out of her ult. Get down to the ground. Stop that. Stop making noise. Woo! Go back into your spawn. Oh, wow. When I did that, I got so hyped. And look at my teammates healing me again after that move to take Wanda down. See that? Now I love Wolverine. Just like when I was using Penny and I took her out of her ult with Penny. Now that I did that with Wolverine, oh yeah, this has to be a player that's added to my collection of destruction. And what I've noticed in my lobbies, nobody ever bans Wolverine. And usually I don't see Wolverine out there either. So because I'm in gold and platinum, this is actually a gold game because I did drop back down to gold momentarily. I'm gonna make it back up to platinum. I already have gotten back up there. But since he doesn't get banned, why not let it fly? Right? Why not? Why not learn him? Because they're never gonna ban him. They never do. And this is a great feature. Being able to ban. That's crazy. Imagine you're playing NBA 2K and before the game, both teams get to ban animations. There's always some cheese animation that people are abusing, zigzag cheese, whatever it is. Imagine if before the game you could say, you know what? No Steve Francis moves in this game. No Jamal Murray behind the back or no LeBron James step back when they used to have that. No, you just ban it. 2K needs to steal that feature. That would drastically change how that game is played. That would be incredible. And see, that's the thing about Marvel Rivals. This game actually is incredible. To me, the only major problem that they have is the matchmaking. The matchmaking is horrible. But if they fix that, there's not really that many problems. They have good balance for the most part. Yeah, there's a little bit of imbalance. They could definitely improve and fix some things, but for the most part, they have counters. The problem is that people don't want to play the characters that counter whatever's going on. For instance, in my games, The flyers. No one ever targets the flyers. The flyers are going crazy. There's plenty of players that can deal with the flyers, though. You got Star-Lord. You've got Hela. You've got Hawkeye, Punisher, Black Widow, etc. You got Namor. There's a lot of options, but usually when everybody wants to play Duelist, who do they pick? They never pick those characters. They pick Moon Knight. They pick some of the flyers. They pick Black Panther, Spider-Man, Wanda. Wanda is great, but she can't get a flyer that's in the back. Yeah, if she's right there in front of the flyer, she can fly up and go get them, but a good flyer is going to be behind their team. You're not just going to be able to walk right by the team and then go up there and go get the flyer. You're out of range. Wanda, that's her weakness. She doesn't have much range. So people are playing her. They're playing Squirrel Girl. They're playing all of the duelists that can't get flyers. It's amazing. They never want to play the duelists that are there to help your team win, to get specific nuisance players out of there. They all want to play that mid-range killer or very close range. Maybe they'll go Iron Fist. Iron Fist can get flyers as well, but he has the same problem that Wanda has. First, you got to get over there. You got to get through their team and then go fight up there, right? You could also do it with Magic. I've seen Magic. Hey, I'm kidnapping her again at the end of the round. I've seen Magic go up there, but Magic, once again, you got to be through the team and then aim up. It's not going to be that simple. It's better if you just pull out the Hela, the Punisher, the Star-Lord, those characters, Hawkeye, Black Widow, but no one ever wants to use those players. And I think that's really what the problem is. Most players, they only know how to play one character. So if that character gets banned, or if somebody else picks that character at the start of the match, they might crash out. I've seen people in the chat say, if you don't switch your player, I'm gonna throw. And then sometimes they have the character they want, but in the game, the other team has a different set of characters because every character has a weakness. And then maybe they're countering your character and you're not effective. You refuse to switch because people only know how to play one character. So that's the problem. People need to learn how to use more than one character. You should at least know one character from each category, at least one. And then the category that you love the most, you should know another character. So let's say you like Wanda, right? You should know another duelist, and don't pick another duelist that does the exact same thing as Wanda, because if you get into a game where the other team is smart and they have a different strategy, the Wanda and the Squirrel Girl and the Moon Knight, they're not going to solve the problems that you need to get solved. If there's flyers in the sky and you can't get through their team, it doesn't matter if you switch from Wanda to Squirrel Girl or to Moon Knight, you're not going to be able to get the flyers out of the sky. There's definitely some balance issues, and they keep making changes all the time. They're tweaking this, buffing that, debuffing that, right? I think they're doing a decent job with all of this. Splash. You gotta be able to switch up the strategy. When you go up against something else, maybe what you're doing doesn't work. You gotta do something else. And that's why now, when it comes to playing strategists, I've started to switch to Mantis. Because I love Cloak and Dagger. I have the most MVPs on Cloak and Dagger. I got a lot of gameplays with Cloak and Dagger. But the problem is when we go up against flyers, my team never has any anti-flyers. But Mantis can get the flyers up out of there. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. It's actually possible to hit them out of the sky, and I've done it many times. So as long as we have an invisible woman, or we got a rocket out there, then I can switch my Cloak and Dagger. I can switch on over to Mantis and let it fly. Oh, I tried to go get her up out of there. I missed that one. It was worth it, though, because I could have saved my team right there. This was a really long game. Look at how long we are being stalled on this point. We can't get them up out of there. This Venom is just a nuisance. And it's the same thing with Thor. See, I've tried Thor, but I can't get my Thor to do what these Thors are doing. Because you notice, their Thor, he always gets his health back. He gets those shields. He will not go down. When I use Thor, I use all of those abilities because it says whenever you use your abilities, you get the overhealth. I do all of that and I never get the health. So I don't know what I have to do to perfect it, to be like these other Thors that are just annoying. But I got to figure this out. And also, I might have to let Venom fly too, because Venom was giving us fits. I'm slicing and dicing, but by the time I killed Venom, he was alive for so long that the other team respawned and ran back to the fight to get back into the fight. So even though I don't like Venom's ult, I got a lot of respect for Venom after this game because it took us forever to move this point. We are stuck in overtime. We cannot get out of this overtime. Look at all this slicing and dicing. Look at all this beasting and feasting that we're doing, and it's not moving. It is stuck. This was an incredible game. My goodness. They're popping ults. This thing is just stuck. I've never been stuck here this long before. This is crazy. Usually you bust through here. Maybe you get stuck in there, but not out here. So I don't know what was going on in this game, but look at the supports. I'm getting healed. Look, I'm kidnapping their supports. I'm like, you know what? Maybe we got to switch the strategy. Let's get the supports up out of here because we can't really get the Venom and we can't get this Thor up out of there. So look, I take you down. Now I see that annoying squirrel girl. So I say, you know what? No more. I'm going for squirrel. Where you at? Get over here. Stop trying to hide. Yeah, go back there. Flee back there. Get down to the ground. And then Venom is back in action. With that trash ult, I knock out another one of those. I'm going for Thor. You know, low-key, Thor and Venom might be a good counter to Wolverine because look at how slippery they are. Every time I tackle them, every time I leap and grab them and kidnap them, they still get out of there. I get a few swipes off, and then they turn on the jets, and I lose them for a second. So those are low-key some good counters. See, this team, both teams are very smart. This is proper matchmaking. It feels like everybody in this lobby really is gold or plat. It's not a complete mismatch. And look, I completely wasted. That's tough. Oh, I just missed the grab again. Wow. I'm going after Squirrel Girl again. See, look, she's trying to just hide back here. She really is. Let me go for Thor. I got Thor moving, using his abilities. He's swiping like crazy. Kidnap Venom again. But look, you already know. Look at that. Venom's out of there. You see how he just swings away, just disappears? That is crazy. Wow. This is the longest round ever. Have you ever seen an overtime last this long? I've never had an overtime last like this. Go for the Squirrel Girl. Look, she's easy to get up out of there. Get down to the ground. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that health. Am I about to die? Go down to the ground. Wow, 36-9. And this cart is not moving. And both teams are here. Both teams are on the objective. This is insane. We cannot get this cart to move. It's a stalemate. Look at this cheese, baby. I'm swiping. I'm slicing and dicing. That's clutch. That's what we needed right there. We needed Jeff to start cheesing. Save your ult and get them up out of there. You're overhead. Oh, look, I couldn't swipe. Look at that cheese. The leap worked, but it wouldn't let me swipe. But what about that? Wow. What a ult to get him up out of there, and I'm diving again. Oh, this time I can't get there in time. I got to go over here. Let me chase the Squirrel Girl again. You're having a bad game, aren't you? You can't hide. No, you can't. Yo, this is crazy. Look at how long we've been stuck in this spot right here. We are not moving this cart. Wow. Finally, it starts to move. My goodness. Woo! We put on a hell of a fight because they didn't get that far. See, I've never had a game last this long when it didn't get this far. Usually, if it's going to be a 21-minute game like this one was, both teams got to the third point. Maybe there's an overtime after you go again where you got to go quickly, right? That didn't happen in this one, but the game just keeps going on, and there's going to be another stalled fight right here. This team refuses to go away. They refuse to give up, and now we're flanking. We're going to see if we can attack like this, but that Thor is just moving. Wow, Thor is a problem. Thor and Venom, I'm going to have to try them out after this game. This is ridiculous. Venom is pretty easy because he has that ability where he gets his health back. He gets a bunch of shields, and then you can always fly away after that one, swing away. But Thor, I got to figure out how to stay alive like this Thor, because look at that. Every time I kidnap him, he zips right out of there. Oh, wow. What a battle. And I'm getting healed like crazy. Shout out to the supports once again. And look at that. That is a clutch. I'm going to try to go get her. Ah, I didn't get there in time. That's tough. I tried it, though. We're fighting. Are we going to overtime again? We got 50 seconds left. And I'm letting it fly. You know, I get the achievement in this game, after this game, for getting 3 kills with my ult, but I don't remember getting 3 kills. I'm showing all of the ults, and some of them have been terrible. But somehow I got 3 kills because they gave me the achievement. And with the achievements, that's how I've gotten so many points. I've earned 2,800 units already. So I can go and buy a bundle. I can buy 1 bundle for free because I've already used 600 on that cap skin. The yellow cap skin, that was 600. So now I got 2,200 left, and a lot of the bundles are at 2,200. So I could get 1 for free. But after this 1 bundle I get for free, it's going to take a while to get another one, because you do get units in the season pass, and sometimes they have events, you get a few, but I'm not going to be able to get thousands again for a long time, because most of the units I got are from doing all the achievements. You get a ton, but I've only got a few left. I've only got like 4 left, and there's only 200 points left in that category that you can claim if I do the remaining, if I finish them. So we'll see what happens. My goodness, we are stuck again, but we're trying to move it. Splash. But the Venom is still here. Another one of those ults. And I'm going down to the ground. I couldn't quite, but look at that revive. That is clutch. Rockets going crazy. What a game. Kidnap, move you over here. Move you off the objective, but you just swing back. That's tough. We get another one of these, though. And actually, I thought it for a second. Look, that's a noob move. I thought it was theirs. That's tough. There's been so many of them. Ooh, another slam. Now they got a thing out here. They switched to the thing. This team is trying desperately to not lose this. We are just a meter away, though. A few meters away from winning. What a struggle. I have never seen a struggle like this. This gameplay is ridiculous. Let me know in the comment section, have you ever been stuck this long in one spot like this? Come on now. I'm going to get the MVP, baby. 54-13 with 46,000 damage. And there it is. Rage Uncaged. They're saying I got 3 kills with 1 ult. I never saw a triple pop up on my screen, though. I never saw the splash, but hey, if they're going to give me the achievement, I ain't mad. So that was a big win there in gold. Wow. What a game. So now I'm going to show you a crash out game. I'm not lying. I told you in my games, people are quitting. We got 2 people quitting. We're in round 2. Round 1 was a disaster. He had Venom. He switched off. But look at that. Look at the 2 people at the bottom. They quit. How can you win 4v6? Come on now. Give that guy a map. Merch is now available at chrissmooth.com. Shipping worldwide. My songs, He Quit the Game, Lob City, and My Camo are now available on all streaming platforms. But look what I'm gonna do to that. I'm gonna block that dunk. Get that cheese out of here. When I did that, I said, all right, Cap might be the character for me. What rhymes with cash? I just put Doctor Strange to the floor.